You're 23, sitting in a windowless room in a building that doesn't officially exist, filling out a form that asks whether you have ever had contact with a foreign national, used illegal substances, or harbored sympathies toward any government hostile to the United States. You answer honestly. They already know the answers. The polygraph operator across the table has done this 4,000 times. He will do it 4,000 more. He attaches the sensors to your fingers, your chest, your arm. He asks you to state your name. Your heart rate does not change. He nods slightly. 14 years later, you are sitting in a different windowless room in a country whose name you cannot say in this video. The man across from you has information that 3 allied governments have been trying to extract for 6 years. You have been building this relationship for 11 months. Tonight, he gives you what you came for. You will never be able to tell anyone about this moment. Not your parents, not your spouse, not your children. The CIA employs approximately 21,575 people. Of those, fewer than 3,000 are clandestine service officers operating in the field. Of those, fewer than 300 ever run operations at the level you are running tonight. This is every level of becoming a CIA operative in America. What it pays, what it costs, and what nobody outside these walls will ever fully know. If you want to know what each level actually looks like when you are standing in it, subscribe. New breakdown every Saturday. Level 1. The application. Age 21 to 23. You applied online. That is how it starts. The CIA Careers website. A standard application form. A resume. A cover letter addressed to an organization that will not confirm your application exists. The hiring process takes 18 months on average. Some candidates wait 2 years. The acceptance rate for clandestine service trainee positions is approximately 1 in 300 applicants. You are competing against Rhodes Scholars, former military officers, Ivy League graduates fluent in Mandarin and Arabic and Farsi. Your background: political science degree, 3.7 gigapascals, 2 years working at a think tank in Washington, conversational Arabic from 3 semesters abroad. You ran varsity cross country. You have never been arrested. You have never used hard drugs. You have no significant foreign financial entanglements. You are exactly who they are looking for. The process begins with an online assessment, then a written test, then a structured interview, then a polygraph, then a medical examination, then a psychological evaluation, then a background investigation so thorough that investigators speak to your 3rd grade teacher, your college roommate's ex-girlfriend, and a neighbor you have not spoken to in 11 years. The investigator who comes to your parents' house in Ohio spends 2 hours asking your mother questions she is not allowed to tell you about. She calls you afterward and says, "They were very thorough." You are offered a position as a clandestine service trainee. Your starting salary: $47,000 to $59,000 depending on education and experience. GS7 to GS9 on the federal pay scale. Less than your college roommate is making at Goldman Sachs. Less than the consultant from your think tank who left for McKinsey. You accept without hesitation. You tell your family you are working for the federal government in an administrative capacity. This is the first of approximately 10,000 times you will not tell the complete truth to people you love. Level 2. The farm. Age 23 to 24. Camp Peary, Virginia. Officially a Department of Defense reservation, unofficially known as the farm. You cannot tell anyone where you are going. You cannot tell anyone what you are doing. You drive there alone on a Sunday in October and check in at a gate that is not on any public map. The training program is 18 months. The curriculum is classified. What is known from declassified documents and former officer accounts includes surveillance and counter-surveillance techniques, dead drop operations, recruitment of foreign assets, cover story construction and maintenance, defensive driving, hand-to-hand combat fundamentals, weapons qualification, cryptographic communications, and the legal framework governing covert operations. You learn to follow someone through a city without being seen. You learn to identify surveillance when it is on you. You learn to make contact with a stranger in a way that looks accidental. You learn to remember a conversation verbatim and reproduce it in writing 6 hours later. You learn that the human memory is both your most valuable tool and your most dangerous liability. An instructor named Williams, no first name, ever tells your class on day 3, this job is 90% patience and 10% everything you see in the movies. He pauses. The 10% will happen. Be ready. Your salary during training, $52,000. You live in government housing. You eat in a government cafeteria. You have not seen your family in 4 months. 3 trainees wash out in month 2, 1 in month 7, 1 in month 14, 2 months before graduation. You never find out why on any of them. They are simply gone one morning. You graduate in a ceremony with no cameras, no families, no press. Your first official posting is announced that afternoon. You are going overseas. Level 3, the junior officer, age 24 to 28. Your cover is a mid-level position at the American Embassy, in a city that will remain unnamed. Your official title in the State Department directory, 3rd Secretary, Economic Affairs. Your business cards say this. Your email signature says this. The ambassador believes this. Your actual job: identify, assess, and begin the recruitment process for foreign nationals who have access to intelligence that serves United States national security interests. Your salary: $62,000 to $78,000 base, plus a hardship differential of 10% to 35% depending on posting location, plus housing allowance, plus cost of living adjustment. Total compensation at a mid-hardship posting, $85,000 to $110,000. You are 24 years old, and the United States government is paying your rent in a foreign capital. Your case officer, supervisor, a 1-year-old woman named Sandra, who has been doing this for 17 years, gives you your first developmental target 3 weeks after arrival. A mid-level official in the host country's energy ministry, access to procurement decisions worth hundreds of millions of dollars, possible sympathies toward American interests based on previous contact reports. You spend 4 months building the relationship. Coffee meetings, a dinner, a second dinner, a conversation that goes long and personal and reveals something he has never told his supervisors. You write the contact report at 1 a.m. in a secured communications room. Sandra reads it the next morning and says, "Good, keep going." Counterintelligence is always present. You run surveillance detection routes before every meeting. You vary your patterns. You never take the same route twice in the same week. You assume you are being watched because sometimes you are. A fellow junior officer named Patrick gets burned in month 18. His cover is compromised by a source he trusted too much too fast. He is on a plane home in 72 hours. His career in the clandestine service is effectively over. You think about Patrick every time you feel impatient. You keep going slow. Level 4, The case officer, age 28 to 35. You have run 11 assets across 3 postings. 2 of those assets produced intelligence cited in the President's Daily Brief, the most classified document in the United States government, read by fewer than 30 people every morning. Your salary, GS-13 to GS-14, $95,000 to $122,000 base, plus overseas differentials and allowances. Total compensation at a senior hardship posting, $140,000 to $175,000. You are now running operations, not just developing them. The difference is significant. Development is relationship building. Operations is task management, directing an asset to collect specific intelligence, managing their security, managing their psychology, managing their family situation when the stress of espionage begins to affect their behavior in ways that create risk. An asset is a human being who is betraying their country for you. Some do it for money, some do it for ideology, some do it because you found the one thing they want that their own government cannot give them. Understanding which motivation drives your asset and managing that motivation over years is the central skill of your profession. You lose an asset in year 6, not burned, gone. He stops making contact. 3 weeks of silence. Then, through back channels, you learn he has been arrested. The host government's counterintelligence service had been watching him for months. You never find out if they knew about you. The CIA's official policy is that it does everything possible to protect assets and their families. The reality is that some assets go to prison, some disappear. The ones who run them carry that. You carry it. Your next posting is a non-official cover position. NOC. No embassy affiliation, no diplomatic immunity. Your cover is a private sector consulting firm. If you are arrested, the United States government will not immediately acknowledge your employment. This is the deep end. Your operational tempo triples. Your stress level does not show on your face anymore. You stop letting it show sometime around year 4, and you are not sure you remember how to turn that back on. Level 5. The Senior Operations Officer, age 35 to 44, GS-15. The top of the general schedule pay scale. Base salary, $135,000 to $148,000. With overseas differentials, senior operational allowances, and classified compensation supplements that are not publicly documented, total compensation for senior NOC officers in high-priority postings has been reported by former officers at $180,000 to $220,000 annually. There are also elements of compensation that cannot be discussed in this video. You are now running networks, not individual assets. A network is multiple assets, coordinated, each knowing only what they need to know, each producing one piece of a larger intelligence picture that only you and headquarters can fully see. The operation you are running tonight, the one in the windowless room in the country whose name cannot be said, is the product of 11 months of relationship building, 4 years of network development, and one conversation 6 weeks ago where your asset told you something that made your handler at headquarters say, "Get that confirmed." Tonight, it is confirmed. You write the cable at 3 a.m. By 6 a.m., it is in the building at Langley. By 7:30 a.m., it is in the President's Daily Brief. You eat breakfast alone in your cover apartment and read a newspaper and think about nothing for 20 minutes. Then you go to work. Your cover work. Level 6. The Senior Intelligence Service. Age 44 plus. SIS 1 through SIS-4. The Senior Intelligence Service is the CIA's equivalent of the military's general officer ranks. Fewer than 300 people in the entire agency hold these positions. Compensation at CIS level: $172,000 to $226,000 base salary. With the full compensation package, including classified elements, senior CIA executives have reported total compensation comparable to senior military flag officers: $250,000 to $350,000 range, depending on position and tenure. You are no longer running operations. You are directing them. You manage a division of 140 officers across 11 countries. You approve operational proposals. You manage relationships with allied intelligence services. You brief congressional oversight committees in secure facilities on Capitol Hill under strict classification protocols. The work you did in the field for 20 years is now done by people who remind you of yourself at 24. You read their contact reports at 5 a.m., the way Sandra read yours. You write back, "Good. Keep going." A deputy director position opens. You are on the list. The confirmation process for senior CIA leadership involves congressional oversight and a background reinvestigation that makes your original clearance process look casual. You have spent 25 years doing things you cannot talk about in confirmation hearings. Your lawyer is very good. Ending. You are 52. You walk into a building in Langley, Virginia at 6:45 a.m. A new trainee is in the lobby waiting for orientation. She is 23. She has a political science degree, a 3.7 gigapascals, and conversational Arabic. She ran track in college. She has never been arrested. She is exactly who they are looking for. She does not know you. She does not know what you have done, or where you have been, or what it cost. You walk past without stopping. Somewhere in a country she has never been to, there is a windowless room waiting for her. There is an asset who does not exist yet. There is an operation that has not been conceived yet. There is a cable that will reach the president's desk before anyone's morning coffee. She will ride it. She just does not know that yet. You take the elevator to the 7th floor. The work continues. The CIA employs approximately 21,575 people. Fewer than 3,000 serve in the clandestine service. The average career of a field operations officer spans 20 to 25 years across multiple continents and covers. The ones who last learn one thing above everything else. Patience is not the absence of urgency. It is the management of it. That was the whole trick. Not an official CIA publication. All compensation figures are based on publicly available federal pay scales and former officer accounts. Operational details are fictional or based on declassified information. Subscribe to The Climb every Saturday, one new level.